Welcome to tonight's episode of Cooking with Coop. As y'all have heard me in the past talk about dry aging beef, and tonight's episode is going to get us started on how to dry age beef. What we have to here is a whole ribeye loin. It's of the cheap variety. We bought it at Food Giant. As you see here, we got it for $6.98 a pound. And so, although it does not have great marbling in it, what it will have is a nice 40-day age. And when you age beef for 40 days, you can literally cut it with a fork. So we're fixing to start that process. We've had a busy summer so far. As you see here, the vegetables on the table, we got the garden going. We'll have a couple of canning episodes coming up in the next couple of weeks. We've got some squash and zucchini to make into relish. We've got some pickles that we're going to do some churned pickles. We got some jalapeno peppers that are starting to get ready, so we'll be doing our cowboy jalapenos. But tonight we're going to focus on this dry aging of this ribeye, and when I come back, we'll get started. All right, welcome back to Cooking with Coop. As you see, we've opened the whole ribeye loin. First thing we're going to do is we dry it off. I did that with paper towels. Get the excess blood off, wash it off in the sink. We're going to flip it over. And this is an important part of it. And what we're going to do is when we flip this over, we're going to cut off what people refer to as the foot of the ribeye. And the foot of the ribeye is this separate side piece. It's actually a really good cut of meat, but it makes also is what we use it for, is after we trim the foot, we make hamburger meat out of it. And this is a really high quality hamburger meat. And as you see, the foot is just right here. It's easy to separate. You can see where the meat is actually not really connected. And it's just for those that have cleaned a deer and you're doing the back straps of a deer, it's kind of like cutting off that side piece. And as you see, we will cut this foot off. And the foot, like I said, as you see, will be then used to make some really choice hamburger meat that we'll come back and add some eye round or some chuck roast, something to it to make a really nice hamburger meat. But that will go in that pan to use as a later date. And as you see now, what we will do is when we come back, I'll show you how to tie it up with butcher string and get it ready for the final aging process, which I said will take about 40 days. You can do it anywhere from 25 to 40. We prefer 40. And so when we come back, we'll continue with our dry aging. All right, we're back. And as you see, as I told you, I've removed the foot. Keep in mind the foot is only on one side of the ribeye loin. And so we remove the foot. And now we have a good uniform piece of beef. And what we want to do is we want to take some butcher string. You can buy it at your local grocery store, Walmart. It's just standard butcher string. As you'll see, I've already started to tie it. And you see how it keeps the keeps the ribeye uniform during the dry aging process. And what you do is you just slide the string under there. If you only have one person to help you tie, it's always better to have two because you can put your finger on it. But if you only have one, you get a good tie there and you can twist it around several times. That'll keep your knot from slipping. And then just finish your knot. Take a piece of some scissors and trim it off. And as you see how it keeps the ribeye uniform, and it'll keep it uniform during the drying process. And that way when you cook it, you'll have a nice uniform, or when you cut it, a nice uniform piece of steak. Once again, pull it tight, twist several times, and then just tie in a knot, tighten it down, trim the excess string, and voila, we'll finish the entire ribeye by tying it all uniform. And then when we come back, I'll show you what you do for about the first 5 days of dry aging before it goes into the UMAi drying bag, which, as you see here, you just get on the internet. It's called a UMAi drying bag, and I'll show you how those work when we come back. All right, we're back with Cooking with Coop, and as you see now, I have taken our ribeye and I have tied it completely with the butcher string. As I told you, it holds uniform. And now this is very key. This thing just came out of the package, and therefore over the next 4 or 5 days, it's going to have some blood, and blood that you don't want in the dry aging bag. So what we're going to do is you can either use cheesecloth, or I prefer just the old towel. And what we're going to do is we're going to take the ribeye, we're going to wrap it in this towel, flip it over just like this. We're going to wrap it nicely in the towel, making sure that it's spread out. It'll wrap up. You can already see some of the blood coming into the towel. Then I'm going to fold the ends. Whammo, and this thing is ready to go into the refrigerator. We have a refrigerator we dedicate to dry aging. It's about 33 to 35 degrees, and what we do is we'll keep this in there for about 5 days. I will change the towel, make sure that all the blood, the excess blood, is drained out of the ribeye, and then when we remove this from the towel, it'll be ready to go into the UMAi bag, the dry aging bag, which is a breathable bag. We get it on Amazon, and we'll put the ribeye in there. It'll stay 35 to 40 days, and after that we will have a dry aged, really tender, nice piece of ribeye. We'll be back. Alright, now our ribeye has been in the refrigerator for a good 5 days, and so we're ready to take it out of the towel and put it in the dry aging bag. As you see, all the blood, the excess blood, is gone, soaked up in the towel. We changed it a couple of times over the course, but now we have a nice uniform piece of ribeye, whole ribeye, ready to go into the dry aging bag. As you see, the dry aging bag is made for either ribeyes or strip loins, which is strips, and you will slide it in the bag just like this. And then I have a vacuum sealer, and what I'll do, the vacuum sealer is over here. When we come back, I'll show you how to seal this ribeye, and it'll be ready to put in the refrigerator for about 40 days. We have here, as you see, the start date 6/6/22 with a target date of 7/15/22. So about July 15th, these things will be ready to come out. We will then cut them into ribeyes, do them in our vacuum sealer as well, and we pack 2 steaks at a time, and these bad boys will be ready to go in the freezer. When we come back, I'll show you how to seal the bag, and we'll put them in the refrigerator for dry aging for 40 days. Alright, now we've got our ribeye in our dry aging bag. The first thing you got to do is you got to seal the corners of these, and you want to leave the middle opening, and I'll show you why. That's where it'll actually vacuum seal. So what you do is you seal the corners, and as you see, I'm sealing the first corner of the bag. As soon as that is sealed, I'm going to flip it around, and I'm going to seal the other corner, and then I will insert this, it's a piece of, it makes it where the air will come out of the bag. So we've sealed one corner. As you see, I'll flip it around. I'm going to apply the other corner. We're going to seal the other corner, and when I come back, we'll vacuum seal it, and it'll be ready for the fridge. Alright, as you can see, I have sealed both corners of the bag, and then they supply this with the bag, and of course the instructions come fully with the dry aging bag, but this is going to allow the air now to suck out the middle portion, and it will go ahead and vacuum seal and be ready for the fridge. So as you see in there, I'm going to put moist just in case, even though it's not. Hit vacuum seal, and you will see that the air will slowly start coming out, and we will have a nice tight vacuum seal. If it doesn't work the first time, it means you didn't have your bag positioned correctly, and all you do is reposition your bag. But as you can see, the air is gradually being removed from the bag, sucking around this, and this is actually a membrane that actually will breathe, and it will allow the meat to dry age without drying out. And as you can see, we have a nice tight fit around the ribeye. I will go ahead and seal it again just to be safe, and then this thing will be ready for the fridge, and it will see it in about 40 days.